So looking ahead to 2027 and 2028, there are many new developers and units being delivered. Do you think we could face an oversupply of properties in the coming years, or do you believe the demand will remain strong enough to absorb this growth? And I know you touched upon this in one of your answers, but maybe if you want to elaborate.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. We know now from the latest numbers that approximately around 180,000 units are going to be handing over in just the next 3 to 3.5 years. That is the projection. From reality, we know it's only about 50,000 of these units that actually get handed over. You see, these calculations are coming based on the anticipated completion dates, which are registered within our real estate systems. But not every project actually hits that deadline. So we end up, out of the 180 to 190,000 units, there's a very real possibility about 110,000 units would be completed, which gives us about 22,000 units a year. Many of them being picked up by the first-time buyers. Many of them, the owners are looking to give it to the holiday homes. And we need around 50,000 new homes every single year to accommodate the 250,000 people coming in. So we are short of homes. Why people talk about an oversupply in the market is they separate real estate from the economic agendas and the growth plan of the city. So when you look at it in isolation, you don't understand real estate in Dubai, because there are a lot of handovers happening, but at the same time, launches are happening. So we need to understand what's really happening here. Those investors who are picking up all these new launches are also aware that handovers are taking place. They know units are coming out in the market. But the difference between the Dubai wave on property now and the traditional property cycles is that the traditional cycle that operates around the world is based on slow growth economies. Most of those countries are not having a 70% growth rate in population in just 10 years. They're not doubling their economic agendas. People are not coming to their countries. People are leaving their cities and coming to Dubai.
That's true.
So when you have this huge influx of people coming in, you cannot have the oversupply because we are short on units. So all these launches that are happening, in a typical property cycle, you would have about 3 years of an upward trend where launches are happening and prices are growing very, very quickly. But post 3 years, some of the handovers start happening. So you see a flattening of the market. That's in the traditional model. That flattening is when now there are options available for end users or homeowners, that's the term I prefer, in the market. So what happens at that stage is developers don't launch new projects. Why? Because their early buyers are now competing against them because they got premium prices for complete units. So the early buyers can undercut and come into the market. That's where the corrections start happening and there's a drop happening. So a developer would not launch a community or a tower at that point because he's going to not be able to sell because there are already opportunities available. So they slow down and they allow absorption within the market. And that's when some of the initial buyers do the undercutting. Some people get into distress mode. They get into panic mode without understanding what's happening. Prices start dropping, which is typically the correction phase. Yeah. And once that's absorbed, the new cycle starts. In Dubai, people don't get it because while the handovers are in full swing, so are the launches. So why are we doing these launches? 27, 28, by the time we get there, all these handovers are going to be absorbed. What are we going to do from 29 to 33? Should we wait for 3 to 4 years when every handover is being absorbed and then launch? So what happens to the 250,000 people coming every single year for the next 4 years? 1 million people will come from 2028 till 2032. Where are the homes for them? To have ready inventory for those 4 years, we must be launching now. Because the launches are in line with the economic agenda. The smart investors have all understood this. And that's the reason why they're swallowing the inventory, because they know 3 to 4 years from now, they're going to make an absolute killing.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for all of the clarity on that as well.